What has your relationship been with the artist within you? Has it always been super potent and strong, or has it been more recent?
Well, the first philosophy that I ever resonated with was Toltec philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So it started with Castaneda, moved quickly to Don Miguel Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went deep into that philosophy, the Toltec philosophy, and they have two different words to describe, individuals. Everybody on the basic level is tonal, which just means they're letting life happen to themselves. But the idea of a Toltec, initiate or master is to become what's called a nagual. And a nagual is the painter who's painting the masterpiece of their life and who's really like taking the authority to actually create their own story, grabbing the pen of their destiny and writing their own story. And it's that place of both radical responsibility, which is scary. It's easy to leave things up to some other force, but to say like, no, this is my pen. And like, I'm creating my own reality and my own story. And the word for, nagual is artist. Like that's actually how they described it. So that's an important theme for me. And what I think the most significant transformation is to really understand what they were getting at. Because it's easy to say artist, oh, well, I'm a poet. I put words together in a rhythmic way that illuminate the truth, words that illuminate something that isn't even described in the words, a feeling, an idea, a sense, an emotion. That's really what poetry does. Or some piece of documentary or whatever else, like creating something like that, or a book. But really, the thing I have to keep reminding myself is I am the most important piece of art. I am the piece of art to make into a masterpiece. And then everything I do will be a window into an amazing piece of art. And that's really been like a refocus of that understanding. And I think it's an invitation for all of us is to look at ourselves as the most significant art that we'll ever produce.
So if we think about ourselves as art, there's the one side where it's like, I am going to allow myself to channel the divine and create this beautiful masterpiece led by love and led by the truth of what this piece is supposed to be. And then there's sometimes in our personal growth and development space, the self-love and the self-hate is such a fine line where it's like I'm continuing to work on myself, not because I actually love myself, but because I hate myself and because I want to change myself. And even if we're looking at the piece, it's like, how could some people, and I think some people take this where it's like continuing to fine-tune or refine or change a piece that was already created by God. But as it relates to the darkness, that was something I was thinking about is like, for someone from watching from the outside, some people might be like, that doesn't seem like self-love to me, to go into the darkness and to do the ceremonies that you do and to do some of the things that you do. It feels like torture, or it feels like pain. So what is that relationship that you have between doing these things that are actually acts of self-love, but are deeply uncomfortable, dark, and experiential?
The heights of ecstasy that are available in the revelation of the truth of who we are is what people would be underestimating when they look at these journeys that are hard, right? Like actually to get to the most radical states of love and the most radical bliss that you can experience from merger with the divine energy. That experience is available by going through some really challenging stuff often. Not always. And sometimes it can be pleasurable the whole way. And I think those arts are too very important, like the tantric path, like every part of the tantric path is delightful. It's all delightful. And then it culminates in orgasm, which is incredibly delightful, right? So it doesn't always have to be hard, and it's not always, and it isn't always hard.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.